Hi, and welcome to the Wolfstone Worktop Joining Guide. In this video, we will be showing you how to seamlessly join our Wolfstone Solid Surface worktops. Like with all our installation guides, we will be using our tried and tested method, ensuring a smooth, seamlessly joined worktop surface. For the jointing procedure, you will need router and cutting bit, orbital sander, 240, 320 and 400 grit sandpaper, and the maroon abrasive pad. 8 MDF or wooden blocks no smaller than 40 by 30 mm. Worktop clamps, clean blade or putty knife, Wolfstone colour matched adhesive and adhesive gun, isopropyl alcohol wipes, masking tape, and the necessary personal protection for the task. To make things even easier, we have made available a Wolfstone installation kit which has the following contents: 150 mm sanding discs in 240, 320 and 400 grit, maroon abrasive pad for the wet finishing process. You will also find isopropyl alcohol wipes, wooden blocks for hot glue process, heat reflective tape, microfiber cloth and disposable surgical gloves for handling the adhesive components. Please note, Wolfstone colour matched adhesive and adhesive gun must be purchased separately. Okay, so let's get started. Firstly, a good quality router trim will lead to a good quality join, and here we are doing just this. A 1 to 2 mm router trim will leave a perfectly straight and scour-free edge, essential for a seamless joint. After the vital trimming of the cut edges, we recommend that a dry fit with the worktops be done, simply to make sure both edges fit flush against each other. If there are any irregularities in the top edge of the joining surfaces, they must once again be trimmed, and the dry fit process repeated to ensure that the worktop edges can be joined seamlessly. Once you have achieved the acceptable edge, rough the edges with 120 grit sandpaper and sanding block. 1 or 2 passes will be sufficient for the edge roughing. This will ensure proper thermic adhesion between the two worktop sections. Finally, wipe both sides down with isopropyl alcohol to make sure they are contaminant-free of particles that could affect the final joint's visibility and seamlessness. You are now ready for the worktop joining process. Position 2 layers of masking tape approximately 3 mm from both edges being joined, as this will help save time later when cleaning and sanding the joint line. The following step will require 6 of the wooden blocks that are supplied in the Wolfstone installation kit. Use these blocks by hot gluing them to the worktop surfaces as shown here. Make sure that each set of blocks are placed directly across from each other and every pair spaced equally across the width of the area being joined. Now you can assemble the adhesive gun and load the colour-matched adhesive cartridge. Expel a small amount of adhesive to ensure the flow of the mixing tip is even and constant. From this point you will have approximately 15 to 25 minutes working time, depending on the ambient room temperature. With these steps completed, you are now ready to apply the adhesive. To do this, run a bead of adhesive across both jointing faces. Position the bead at the top of the face so that it does not run off the bottom before you are able to spread the adhesive evenly as shown here. Once applied, use a clean blade or spatula to spread the adhesive evenly across the surface. Push surfaces together, then pull slightly apart, allowing for approximately a 3 mm gap between the surfaces. More adhesive is then applied to the top edge to fill any gaps in the adhesive line, sinking slightly into the joint area. Now push the surfaces together as close as possible and attach the worktop clamps and evenly tighten the clamps' tension until you notice a small bead of excess adhesive expelling evenly along the joint's width. This shows that there is adequate adhesive present between the two edges. The level of the join can then be checked and any minor adjustments can be made at this point. Please note, the working time of the adhesive is about 10 to 15 minutes. However, the full cure time of the adhesive, especially in cooler conditions, can be up to 35 minutes. On installation days over 20 degrees Celsius, this time could be reduced to under 20 minutes. Once the adhesive has cured roughly 50%, remove the masking tape applied. When the adhesive has cured completely, you can simply remove clamps and the wooden blocks by lightly tapping them with a hammer. Now the sanding of the joint line can commence. Firstly, attach your 240 grit sandpaper and raise the speed of your orbital sander to its maximum speed. Start sanding your joint line by alternating between a north-south and east-west sanding pattern extending out roughly 150 mm either side of the joint line. Here are a couple of points to remember when sanding your joints. When sanding an adhesive line, keep the sander level at all times. Feather out your sanding area with each sanding grit level to avoid dishing of the joint. And continually remove dust particles created to ensure a consistent surface finish. In the beginning stages, due to the high difference between the cured adhesive and the actual surface of the countertops, your orbital sander will try and stray from your intended sanding path, as you can see here. Do not try and counteract this movement with excessive downward force, but rather counteracting it with directional pressure opposite to what is being exerted by the sander. As the levels become more even, the sander becomes easier to keep on the preferred sanding path. Keep repeating complete passes with this grit sandpaper until the joint line is even with the work surfaces and all excess adhesive removed from the surface. Once this has been achieved, you can move on to the 320 grit, making 2 runs of the suggested sanding path. When completed, repeat the process one last time with the 400 grit sandpaper. Remember, employ a 50% overlap between each sanding grit level and continually wipe away residual dust from the surface to prevent uneven sanding results. The sanding pad should also be continually checked and any dust buildup removed. Once you have finished sanding and achieved the desired result, disconnect your vacuum and slow the orbital sander speed in preparation for the wet finishing process. Now we attach the maroon abrasive pad to the sander and lightly but evenly wet the area that is going to be finished. Now with your orbital sander on slow, make 2 to 3 complete sanding passes in the prescribed manner, wetting the surface between each pass. Once complete, with a microfiber, wipe away any residual particles and reveal a 100% seamless joint. And there you have it, perfectly seamless, inconspicuous and hygienically joined Wolfstone countertops. For more information on the Wolfstone joining process or any other, please view the complete Wolfstone installation manual by visiting www.wolfstone.za.com.